Okay, so lastly, out of the good movies, we have a true international sensation in the form of K-pop Demon Hunters. Huntrix Hive Rise. Huntrix Hive Rise. Now, guys, this was cinema. This was cinema. One of the biggest regrets that I have for 2025 so far, for this channel at least, is not reviewing this film as the second that it landed on Netflix.com. I ended up waiting to watch it like a week or two. I forgot that it was dropping on Netflix. And then I heard people talking about it, talking about the soundtrack, talking about how good it was. And I was like, oh yeah, I was supposed to watch this because this is from the same studio that gave us the Spider-Verse movies. This is from Sony Animation. I don't understand what's going on in the Sony film division, because you turn this way and you have Madam Web, and then you turn that way and you have the Spider-Verse movies. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the quality control. I hope the quality control for their PlayStations isn't as bad as this. But regardless, I'm just so delighted that this film exists, that they churned this out, because it is a hit. Like I said, this is a global sensation in terms of the soundtrack, but also in terms of the film itself. Like, I am a fan. I am an absolute fan. And I'll just say this one time, because some of you will know that, hi, my name is Jean and I am the queen of shipping. I am currently captaining several different ships at once, okay? But I just got a new one. I just got a new ship to be the captain of, and that is Rumi X Jinu. Rumi X Jinu! I will make this happen. First of all, we will get a second film. And second of all, we will figure out what to do. We will figure out how we can get to the end game, which is Rumi and Jinu. Don't even worry about it. I'm on the case. Okay, let's just rewind for a second here and take a breath, because there is so much to dive into when it comes to this film. There is so much to love about it. First of all, the story here is immaculate. It is tight. I love the lore surrounding this film, the fact that you have this world where demons exist and they lurk in the darkness, and they usually live in like a different plane of reality, but they come out trying to take people's souls. And you have these hunters, these demon hunters, who, you know, are charged with taking them down and protecting this kind of protective layer around the living world called the Hun Moon. And so here come Huntrix, this girl group, this K-pop girl group, who are actually demon hunters in disguise, and they use their popularity and their spread of positivity and love for their fans to protect them from the emerging demons that are constantly lurking in the darkness, trying to steal people's souls. That is such an incredible elevator pitch. Ooh, that is, ooh. From the second that they explained this at the beginning of the film, I was locked in. I was like, oh, tell me more. Tell me what, because if you know, okay, I'm a huge fan of mythology. Yes, I am. I'm a huge fan of these kinds of lore and storytelling. So the second that they started explaining this, I was like, yep, I was locked in. Yep, this is exactly down my alley. Like this, this was made for me. I will say I was a bit more excited about the mythology side of things than I was about the K-pop side of things. I am not a K-pop girly, I'm afraid. No, please, don't come for me. I'm not a K-pop girly. I just don't connect with the genre or the industry. There's a lot of problematic aspects to it that I don't love. So I've never really been a K-pop stan like that. And that's the only part of this whole package that had me a little less excited. But I must say, even from my inexperienced ears, the bops were bopping. The bops were absolutely bopping. Like, I don't listen to a lot of K-pop, like I said, but even when I was watching this film, I was like, hang on, my toes are tapping, my head is bopping. Like, this is actually an insane soundtrack. So to see how it's like blown up internationally is not a surprise to me, because even from my inexperienced ears, I was like, oh yeah, they're onto some hits here. There's some incredible songs in this soundtrack. So on top of the compelling mythology, the story that they spun for this movie, they also had an exceptional soundtrack, which makes sense because we're dealing with K-pop artists, K-pop idols, I think they're called, right? Again, this is not my wheelhouse. I'm a Beyonce girly. I'm not This is a different high from mine. But yeah, the idols were idling. Okay. And it definitely helps that they were able to back this story with an actually really good soundtrack to boot. But then on top of that, you also had really compelling characters. I absolutely loved Rumi. Yes, I did. I absolutely loved Rumi. I loved all of the girls, okay? And I also loved the Sasha boys. Look at that. Particularly Jinu. I must say, the other Sasha boys are kind of like in the background. They didn't really have a ton to do, you know, a lot to play with, but they functioned well as like a stereotypical, you know, K-pop boy band. They each had their USPs, you know, the traits that made them stand out in the group. They weren't particularly three-dimensional, but they worked as caricatures of, you know, members of K-pop boy bands. And even before K-pop was huge, like American and British boy bands as well had this aspect. So they worked really well as a unit, and it made sense why, you know, people starting to fall in love with them. And Jinu's idea of using Huntrix's tricks against them, you know, for the side of evil was very, very clever. But then we dive into Jinu's like backstory, and the fact that you get a little bit of it at first and you're like, oh, like he's not so bad. Oh, poor Jinu. And then you get the rest and you're like, oh, actually he's a bit of a dick. He's a bit of a dickhead. But seeing Jinu and Rumi kind of bond over the course of the film was really kind of sweet. It lit a little fire in my dying heart. And that was only possible because Rumi was able to see things from the demon's perspective as a half demon herself. And the fact that that was a dark secret that she kept for herself, away from even her friends, her fellow hunters, was really deep. And again, that writing was so solid because it created a really good conflict within the character for her to go through this journey on. And as if all of that wasn't already impressive, you have the fact that this film looks absolutely spectacular. I mean, this has become a staple from Sony Animation of all studios. But yeah, their films have become known for looking incredible, and K-Pop Demon Hunters is no exception. Like, I love the animation style here. It's definitely something that's drawing on, you know, Spider-Verse inspiration, but it's not a complete, you know, mimic or copy of Spider-Verse. It is its own thing. It does have a very different color palette for one, and it made for such an exciting and visually stimulating film. All in all, guys, Sony Animation did their huge one with K-Pop Demon Hunters. I already had decent expectations after watching the trailer, but now I see a vision. Now I see a vision with sequels, with spin-offs, with a TV show perhaps. Like, I am all in on this world. I feel like the Huntrix's manager. Like, I am all in. I am invested in this. I will run their social media campaign. I am the captain of the Jinu and Rumi ship. Thank you very much. I am completely and totally invested in this world. What a delightful film. It breaks my heart that it didn't get a theatrical release because it absolutely deserved it. But yeah, hopefully in the future it will get one, because now people know that this is one of the best films to come out of 2025.